Good morning friends, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to see how to design the automatic grease interceptor for the wastewater system. So the automatic grease interceptors, it offers a highly efficient method of managing fats, oils and grease. Simply we can say fog in wastewater system. This automatic grease interceptor is ideal for application like in food service establishment such as hotel, restaurant and cafeteria where high fog levels can lead to drain blockage and healthy hazard. So in the design, we have one example and we are going to see how to design correct grease receptor for a retail building, for the retail buildings. Like you see in this layout, there are multiple retails are there. Retail 6, retail 7, retail 8, retail 9 and there are many retails in the ground floor layout. So when we go for the very initial kind of design, like for example concept design, we need to provide the grease interceptor rooms if it is the automatic a big kind of grease interceptor. So that time we don't have proper information from the tenants who is going to come in the future, like what is the retail kitchen size, how big the kitchen, what kind of cooking will be there. So we don't have that much information in the initial stage. So we are going to consider the grease interceptor, automatic grease interceptor, based on some criteria that we are going to that I'm going to explain in this video with some backup proofs. Let's start the video. Now coming to the Excel file, so let's say that we have 6 different kind of retails are located in the building. So in the first stage, what I'm going to do, I am going to provide the total area of the all the retails. I mean, this is the F&B. So I have mentioned as a retail. So we can say it's a F&B. That's a kitchen area. So there are total 6 kitchen area we have. I mean the restaurant we have in the building. So I'm going to write all the total area of each F&B. I mean the restaurant. Then we need to identify what is the dining area and also what is the kitchen area, because in the restaurant there are these two kind of thing will be there. There will be a dining area and there will be a restaurant. I mean the kitchen area. So out of 100%, how much we are going to consider is 60% for the dining and 40% for the kitchen area. So in that, based on that cases, I have considered 60% from the total area for the dining area. So from after this one, we need to see that in 100 meter square, how many people we need to consider for the dining. So for this one, I am going to use the asterisk 62.1. This is the asterisk 62.1 2025 revision. So here you can see. So here you can see for the restaurant dining area, we need to consider 67 people for 100 meter square or 100 feet square. So this is one of the very important thing I want to highlight here. There is a big changes in the 2025 revision and 2022 revision in regards to the people density when it comes to these 3 factors. Let me just to open the 2022 revision so you can understand what is the big difference between these two. For example, if I go to 2022 revision, so you can see this for the restaurant dining area, for the 100 meter square, we have to consider 70 people. If you see the fast food dining or cafeteria, for 100 meter square, we have to consider 100 people. But in the current revision, there is a big changes in these 3 factors also. Here it is mentioned 20, but in the current revision, you can see when I open the previous one, you can see the big difference here, 67, 5 and 67. Now in our case, we are going to consider the restaurant dining room. So for the 100 meter square, we need to consider 67 people, and based on that, we can go for the design. So now I have considered 0.67 because I have mentioned here area per person, that is the meter square. So for 1 meter square, 0.67 person. So based on the asterisk 62.1, I have considered same logic of 100 meter square, 67 people. Now the next thing, I need to consider how many number of seats. So already we know what is the dining area, and with that I am going to multiply with the number of people. So by doing so, that I can get the number of seats considered in the dining area. Now I need to assume how many meals for these people. So normally we will assume that 3 meals per day for 1 people. So we have total 88 people. So 88 into 3, we will get the total number of meals that will be served in the dining area. Similar way, we can do the same exercise for the retail, all the other restaurant which is located in the building. So now you will get one by one all this value considering the same concept of 0.67 meter square, 0.67 person per meter square. So total number of meals served in the restaurant, we are getting 1822. Now here we have 2 options. It's based on the project. We can say that each retail area, each restaurant, we can go with a single automatic grease interceptor, or can we combine all the restaurant once and we can have one single interceptor for one single grease interceptor for all the restaurant area? So there are two options are there. This one we can confirm with the client also the initial stage. So if you are going with the one single automatic grease interceptor, by combining all the restaurant, you will save the big space because there is no need of multiple grease interceptor room. And this automatic grease interceptor, if you see the images, for example, you need to have the separate means the tanker will come, it will take that drainage, so it will need to have one separate tanker drainage point also. So if you go with the combined grease interceptor, you can save that those kind of multiple tanker collection point. Now we got the total number of meals. So we have one formula, that is maximum wastewater flow. The QS is equal to Vm into F into M by T into 3600. I'm going to apply this formula to get the exact amount of flow, and from that flow I'm going to size the automatic grease interceptor. First I have copied this 1822 from this table. What we got here, 1822, same I have copied here. And this is one of the very important thing, the average hours of operation. I need to consider the hours of operation. This will change the amount of flow in a big way. For example, what normally I consider 12 hours because my understanding is like morning 6:30 to 10:30 the hotel will be operating, then again 11:30 to 2:30 for the lunch, and evening 7 to 12. So following this 6:30 to 4:30, 4 hours, and 11:30 to 2:30, you can see there will be 3 hours, and again from here 6 hours, 5 hours. So like this we can decide. For example, here if you see these three, so this is 4 hours, this is 3 hours, and this is 5 hours. Total 12 hours of operation I normally consider. But if we increase the hours of operation, there will be a changes in the flow rate. So this is the actual way you can consider the same amount like 12 hours. That is more than enough. So now I need to consider for the restaurant, for each meals, how much amount of water I need to consider, and what is the frequency. What is the, I mean, this is the coefficient will come, peak flow coefficient will come. So these two things you can get from two different kind of table. One is as per British standard 1825, you can go table A3 for the volume of the water, and A5 for the peak flow. So I will just to open those table for your understanding. First you can see the peak flow of coefficient. For that you can see here the restaurant I have shown here. So this one 8.5 you need to consider. Then, and when you go to BSCN 1825, as I mentioned there, you can find out the total volume of water required for this area, required for one meal. So volume of water used per meal, if is in the restaurant, you need to consider the 50 liter per meal. So I'm going to apply these two formulas, these two value, then I can get the total amount of flow required for my kitchen grease interceptor. So I applied the 50 and I applied the 8.5. Now remaining values are already we have, like average, the number of meals, then the frequency, and all other factors already we got. So from here we are going to get 17.93 liter per second. So this is the total required grease interceptor flow we need to size. So now what I am going to do here, one more things are there, separator size. That also I will tell you how to size the separator exactly. Now we got the maximum wastewater flow. From here we need three important influential factor to size the exact separator grease interceptor size. So we need the density factor, we need the wastewater temperature factor, we need the detergent factor. So these three factor I will tell you how to consider exactly. So here we have this explanation for this three things. First one, if you see the temperature factor, we need to see the temperature of wastewater at the inlet. Normally this temperature of the wastewater for the drainage system, it will be less than 60 degrees Celsius only. So this is the reason we are considering the 1.1 as a temperature factor. And coming to density factor, by default a density factor of 1 shall be used for wastewater discharged from the kitchen and meat and fish processing plants. So the same I also consider the density factor. So we have now one more factor to add up here. So that is like okay, so that you can see here. Detergent and rising agent factor. So these are like use of detergent and rinsing agent. So we need to understand what is this. Detergents including dishwasher powder, rinsing agent should carefully be selected and used sparingly. They shall not impair the separating effect as far as possible. Okay, so this detergent factor, how frequently you are adding there. So they like never used it that time, it will be like only one, but we can say like occasionally we are using the detergent to clean up the land, so that will be 1.3. so this one we are considering the 1.3 in our case. So by applying all these factors we will get the exact amount now. So if you see this one, I applied the same one for the density, one for the wastewater temperature, and one for the detergent factor. So now we are getting 23.31 liter per second. Now we have multiple products in the market to select. So this one I have taken the catalog of the Kessel. So for the Kessel, you can see now we got 23.31 liter per second. Let me just reconfirm, 23.31 liter per second. So I will go to the Kessel catalog. So here you can see the NS means is the flow rate. So they are mentioning starting from 2, 3, 4, 7, 10 flow rate. So our case is not falling on this one. So let me just go to the higher side. So in the higher side you can see here they also have the 15 liter per second, 20, 25. So in our case now 23.31. So I'm going to select with 25 NS25 grease interceptor. So this is the size for me I need to consider when we go for the grease interceptor sizing. So I just want to tell one more thing. If you want to learn about the complete plumbing system design, HVAC system design, or firefighting system design, we are providing the paid service design service for you. So if you like to know the practical knowledge about the design, you can contact us in we have given the contact number in the description. Please contact us for the full course also. So now we got the size. Now if you want to keep this interceptor like hanging type in the basement, or if you want to keep the in the interceptor room, then you need to size the interceptor room if you are keeping inside the interceptor room. So you need to verify the installation dimension, I mean the L and B. So L is the total length, you can see here the L they have given, and here is the B is the width of the grease interceptor. So I would recommend to consider for the length, for example here and here just consider 1 meter clearance, and also in the this is for the length, and also the width side you can consider 800 mm clearance for the grease interceptor room, and in this case you can size the grease interceptor room also. I hope you are very clear with the grease interceptor sizing. If you have any doubt, please add your comment in the comment box. So please don't forget to like the channel for more interesting video. Thank you. We'll see you again.